ESPN sources are coming out that Tuchel needs 3 players, but in his press conference today, Tuchel was very hesitant to comment on the names, but basically confirmed Chelsea are still trying to do business. In this video, we are going to break it down into finite details. Who are the 3 players? The press conference that Tuchel just had, which was super informative, Mateo Kovacic and his problems that are non-stop, and Antonio Conte, a beautiful credit that Thomas Tuchel gave him, but at the same time, you need to slap Spurs because this is the preview. Let's get in. Welcome to the Kavkas View, guys, and you already know who this is. You already know the Kavkas View comes with a grill, especially when it comes against Spurs. You know we have got a lot to talk about when it comes to Spurs because they're our rival. Even though they haven't won nothing for like 26 years, apparently they're meant to be our rival. But we'll accept it. We need to slap them one more time. 4 times last year wasn't enough. But there are so many things to take away from this press conference. We're going to break it down and I'm going to give you the reputable information regarding Jong signing for Chelsea, potentially Aubameyang and Fofana. What's going on? Is it going to happen? Oh yeah, and Tuchel confirmed my dream has come true. Marcos Alonso's leaving the club. It is coming true. It's the best thing we could have done this. It is better than if someone gave me £100,000. Okay, maybe I lied, but still. But before we get started, I think it's very important for you lot to hit the like button. We need to get to 1,000 likes. It helps with the algorithm. People love it. And all of a sudden gets you interactive and participating in the comment section as well. Let me know what number like you are. So if you're like number 65 in the comments, just write a quick 65. It goes a long way. It helps the channel and I love you guys for it. If you want to go the extra mile and build this community the way I believe we can, in the pinned comment is my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Hit me up with a DM with any football related questions, music related questions, and we can have a nice chat. I usually respond with voice notes and it's nice and fun. So that's it. The plug's out the way. Let's get on with it. Thomas Tuchel was asked a very interesting question at the start of the press conference. Basically, are we going to sign anybody? And Thomas Tuchel was very open. He said, look, we are interested in one more defender and we're interested in a striker. But he didn't say nothing about the midfield. But we know the rumors and the reports that are coming out are very positive when it comes to the midfield. So we're going to cover the midfield first. Then we're going to move to the defender, what he said, and what he said about the striker. So the midfield, we want Jong. Look, Chelsea have been actively chasing Jong, and it's very obvious that why we're chasing Jong. He's a fantastic player. I've got a feeling he's re-signing at Barcelona and he's re-signing on less money, which lets me know that we've been played. And the reason we've been played is because Chelsea have actively been chasing him, but Man United have been chasing him for 12 weeks. And the player's willing to take a 50% pay cut to stay. He'll give up those deferred wages because he is happy. Apparently he bought a house in Barcelona. His wife loves the idea of living in Barcelona. And more importantly, this is the biggest one. It's his dream club. Guys, it's very hard to ask people that have had dreams and are finally achieving those dreams to give up on them to join a club that they don't want to be at. And the reality is, Jong doesn't want to be in London. He doesn't want to be in Chelsea. And if we get him, we're a second choice. Do I blame Chelsea for actively trying to go sign him? No, because he's world-class and world-class players are few and far between. But do I think that it was the best decision to go after him? I don't know, because now we could be in a position where we're embarrassed again. But that's not the be all and end. What I love about the UK journalists is they have no shame and they will try to waste as many questions as possible. Look, Tuchel will never talk about another player. He's made that perfectly clear. And even as soon as the guy asked about Wesley Fofana, he's like, no comment. Like, it literally was a no comment fest. But Tuchel confirmed he wants one more centre half. And ESPN is reporting avidly that Chelsea are going to get 3 signings. They're trying to get 3 signings across. And Wesley Fofana is one of them. And what's the update? Chelsea had a £50 million bid rejected. Chelsea had a £60 million bid. Leicester have basically told him, come back with 8 years. They literally want him to be the world's most expensive centre-back signing. They said, come back with that fee and he's all yours. And the truth of the matter is, if Chelsea are serious about Wesley Fofana, pay the money. You're willing to pay 60, you'll be willing to pay 80. There's no difference in that situation. It's like saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to give you 100 grand a week. Oh no, I'm going to give you 120. I can't give you 120. If you're paying someone 100k a week, you might as well pay them the 120 because you think they're worth the value. Like, essentially, what's the difference apart from 20 million? The justification is still there. You're gonna pay a lot of money for the individual. So evidently, Tuchel wants a centre back. Fofana clearly is the target. We know that. It's very open. Rodgers is backtracking like he's some kind of stripper. But It is what it is. We'll see what happens. And the final deal is about Aubameyang. And Auba is one player that is very, very unconventional because he scores so many goals. He's Arsenal's, in the last 10 years, arguably greatest striker. Maybe Van Persie, if it was 10 years, I don't know when that was. He doesn't get the credit he deserves in the Premier League. Like, I looked over Aubameyang's statistics. He looked amazing in the Premier League. Like, he had 4 banging years and never gets any credit. And Tuchel spoke about him. He said, you know what, he's always been my player. And the way he spoke about him gave me encouragement that Chelsea might actually sign this player because he spoke about him in such a rare light. It was so positive. It was actually beautiful in the way he spoke about it. He said on a personal level, I like him. I don't know what happened at Arsenal, but I respect him. And I could see them working again together. He didn't rule that out. That's one thing that was evident. He didn't rule out us signing Aubameyang. And that, I think, is the key missing. Do I want Aubameyang? I don't know. Gerard Moreno in Barcelona is actively saying, look, this deal could potentially happen. And the reason being is because Barcelona are going to get rid of players. They need to register players. And the only way you register players, Tash, is by selling these players. Tash knows the deal and they need to make some wage room. The reality is we won't know for the next 48 hours, maybe even till the 31st. We need to be patient. We need to see what the articles are saying. And if there's any movement, I will confirm it to you. One thing was evident. I don't think Chelsea are going to panic buy. And Tuchel made that very clear. He said, we are not going to be avidly going after players for the sake of going after players. We are not going to panic buy. He used the words panic buy. And I love that. I do not want to see a Zappacosta. I do not want to see a Danny Drinkwater. I do not want to see a Papi Develobogi at the club again. We have had enough of signing players that we need to get rid of in 12, 18 months time, and we can't get them off because their wages are too high and they're stuck on our wage. It's just stupid. So now, the fact that Tuchel is reassuring us that this is going to happen, I know we're going to get quality. And you know what? Honestly, if we get, for example, Wesley Fofana, Koulibaly, Sterling, Chukwuemeka, and Omari Hutchinson, that's a good window piece. That's 3 world-class players, or 2 world-class players, and 3 great potential players. It just puts us in a good position. I think we need to be positive. I think we need to be realistic. And I think we need to be honest with us. That's my personal opinion. I want to hear yours about it. Alonso's gone. And based on what Tuchel said, it all but confirmed it. It all shows that he wants to go to Barcelona. Barcelona want him and it's a registration issue. Alonso's pushing for it. And it's, by the sound of things, Chelsea have given him permission not to train. And Alonso went on tour. He was a good team player. He went to the US. He basically all but did his requirements as a Chelsea player. But they've come back and Tuchel clearly doesn't want him in and around the dressing because it's got to the point where you've got Cucurella. Yeah, we signed Cucurella as well. I forgot about him. We signed Cucurella. We've got Ben Chilwell. You don't need him in and around the dressing room, especially if he's upset, especially if he's not going to be the most happiest individual, and especially if half his heart is already at Barcelona. And people don't want to accept that, but that's how you get bad eggs in the dressing room, when someone's not fully committed in one direction. And all of a sudden, you've got someone else puts in a challenge and he reacts in a specific way. He gets frustrated. So it's just one of those things we need to be realistic, and it's evident that we're managing him, and I think this situation is going to get resolved. I think Barcelona will 100% sign him. In regards to team news for the game against Spurs, Tuchel was very open and very honest. Everyone's fit, apart from Mateo Kovacic. And now we need to be worried about this because, dude, why is Mateo always injured? He's played less minutes last year in the Premier League than N'Golo Kante. Mateo Kovacic has a knee issue, and this is more of cautionary to make sure that he recovers fully instead of rushing him back, throwing him into the deep end, and then he has another react. And Tuchel was very clear on that this isn't an injury that is new. This is something that they need to manage and maintain. Yo, do you remember when he played in that final against Liverpool and I was moaning because I was saying his ankle was messed up? You could see by the pictures, his ankle was finished, finito, zakończone. Zakończone, it means finished, like. That's what you could tell. Now, there are lingering effects. And it looks like he's got another injury, and we are going to have to learn to manage it. Because if this is the case, we have got a problem, and we need to get Frankie de Jong. Because then it just goes from Jorginho, Kante, Kova as the main 3 to Jorginho, Kante, and Ruben. And do I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek is good enough to be leading for a title hunt? Because that's what Chelsea's target aspiration should be from the beginning. So far, we've got 3 out of 3 points. So until we start dropping points, then we can readjust or recalibrate our expectations. Then we can go for top 4. From the outset, you should be going for the Premier League. I'm a Chelsea fan. That's how I've always been raised. In my time as a Chelsea fan, from a young age, I remember us going for titles. So I'm not going to adjust my expectations now. Tuchel was very honest as well, and I actually really liked this. He was very transparent in, yeah, we beat Spurs 4 times last year, but there was never a big gap between us and that we need to be very hesitant in the way we approach games. And when we're even in possession, we need to be aware and applicable to be defending straight away to prevent counterattacks from happening. And I think that's the key here. This is why, in my opinion, we're so great in knockout games. We're so great in those one-off occasions, but we're not good in league. Because I think Tuchel's nature is always to go out of his way to make sure we don't lose and approach games to make sure that we don't open ourselves up to. And that is a bad thing in the long run. Personally, I prefer going out and absolutely blitzing teams, but Tuchel's way is successful and I can't moan. It's his team. I respect the manager. I actually think we have one of the best managers. And I think people are trying to put unnecessary pressure on him. And this is very common at this moment in time. So I think we need to give him the benefit of doubt. I think Spurs versus Chelsea is going to be an interesting game. We need to be realistic in our approach. I think Chelsea will win. I really do. I think everyone's saying Spurs is going to beat us. Spurs is going to beat us. All the pressure is on Spurs to come and absolutely whoop us. Players are going to come out with an absolute statement to make. And I think it's going to be a good one. I hope we go out there and we prove them wrong and we prove everyone and tell them a big I told you so and get 6 points on the board from 2 and be in a good position to start acquiring points quickly. But this was the Kavkas View, people. I hope you lot enjoyed it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts, because without you, there is no channel. Without your interaction, there is no channel. Without you guys, there is no one for me to on this platform. I've got friends in real life, but on this platform. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Peace out. I'm out.